Welcome, my darlings, to another chilling chapter of Echoes of the Dark. I am your guide through tonight's nightmare, Violet Nocturne. You look tense. Don't worry, these are only stories. Or are they? Let's dim the lights as we slip into a tale far darker than your imagination dares tread. Tonight, we explore an echo of abandonment, regret, and an ancient mistake that will never be forgiven. This, my dear audience, is the story of the Forgotten One. The setting: a small town, tucked away from highways and high-rise apartments, the kind that lives just outside memory. An old house sits at the edge of Blackwood Forest, abandoned for decades, save for the occasional brave, or foolish, soul who ventures too close. Inside that house, the stories go. The laughter of a child still echoes, but no one knows who that child is, or why they still reside there. Do you know the weight of guilt, my dears? The kind you can't shake no matter how fast you run? You're about to meet someone who does. His name is Everett, a man in his late 30s, riding the tide of a forgettable middle-class life. Dinner at 6, lawn-mowered Sundays, a yawning swirl of daily routines. But Everett holds a secret, one locked deeply away even from himself. Until, of course, the Forgotten One knocks. It began on an uncharacteristically cool summer evening. Everett had spent the day clearing out his late parents' belongings from a musty garage. The box of old photographs was the last thing remaining. As dusk fell, Everett eased open the box. There, nestled between faded photographs, was a dusty, leather-bound journal. It wasn't his father's handwriting. It wasn't his mother's either. It looked childlike, almost playful. A cold draft swept through the air, though every window was closed. Strangely transfixed, he opened the first page. The scrawling words read, "Do you remember me? Chills already? Oh, but we're just beginning." Over the next week, Everett tried to forget his strange discovery, but a nagging unease loomed heavy over him. Every evening, as soon as twilight would cast long shadows in his home, small things would go missing. A photograph he'd just placed on the mantel, a mug that vanished mid-use, a strand of laughter ringing faint and distant. Just stress, he told himself, masking the growing pit of terror that had taken residence in his chest. But he couldn't deny the sense of being watched, of an unseen force waiting just beyond the glow of his desk lamp. Then, one night, the knock came. Tap, tap, delicate as tiny knuckles against his bedroom window. Considering Everett's house was 2 stories tall, he brushed it off. Just the wind, just the old frame creaking. But it returned, louder, more insistent. The moment he went to investigate, he noticed something that churned his stomach into knots. From the window's frosted pane, a tiny handprint stared back at him, too small to be his own. And yet, there's no mistake. It was made fresh, moisture still lingering. Terrified, Everett searched every corner of his house that night. Doors, closets, attic, under the bed. Nothing. Yet that knock. Oh, that infuriating knock returned night after night. Always at twilight. Always haunting. Curiosity or madness often lures the doomed toward the edge, doesn't it? And Everett was no exception. One fateful evening, journal in hand, he made his way to Blackwood Forest. The old house, darkened, rotting, bearing an aura of malevolence, stood waiting. Reluctance gave way to footsteps, and he soon found himself violating silence with his presence. His flashlight illuminated a child's chair, a spectral rocking horse, and peeling walls decked in amateurish crayon drawings that depicted a smiling family, 4 figures standing hand in hand beneath the blistering sun. But there was no 4th person in Everett's family. "Why did you leave me?" A voice crackled, faint, but sharp enough to stop his heart. It was a child's voice, not entirely human in tone. A distorted echo that seemed to vibrate through the cracked floorboards. The journal began flicking its pages as though moved by an invisible zeal. And Everett began to recall fractured memories of a child abandoned by his family in an accident he had caused, but was too young himself to remember fully. Did that child die here? Did they ever leave? "You're not supposed to be here," the voice shrieked. The room began spinning, the walls twisting, claw-like shadows reaching out from unseen corners. From the darkness emerged a figure, part child, part something else, its sunken eyes aflame with loathing and sorrow. And then, silence. No one knows what happened to Everett afterward, my dears. Some say he resides there now, stuck in a loop of the Forgotten One's design. Others suggest he simply disappeared along with the old house itself, which, oddly enough, hadn't stood in Blackwood Forest for over 40 years. It's funny, isn't it? We spend our lives trying to forget heartbreaks, mistakes, wounds too raw to avenge. But some things don't wish to be forgotten, and sometimes they remember you. And so, my sweet, trembling audience, as you turn off your lights tonight and tuck in tight, remember this: there is no scar deeper than a forgotten memory. Every secret comes home, eventually. Good night, and sweet dreams, my darklings.